All right, guys, this video is on deer bedding, creating areas where deer really prefer to be in versus bedding that we consider what most people consider somewhere in the woods or a thicket. If you see deer bedding in there, it's oftentimes that they feel that that's probably the best place they got and they have nowhere else to go. So it's part of my strategy to keep deer in here. I allow the hayfield to grow up and provide tons of private bedding space. And once this field grows up, the deer bed in here like crazy, and all of the beds you find in, at least in my area of the woods, tend to completely disappear. Every now and then I'll find a bedding area or two in there where basically there was breeding going on, and after that, after the rut's over, those beds generally disappear and they're all focused out here in this part of the field. So I keep a lot of deer in here. Right here is really nice set of beds here. There's actually two beds here and here. This could be the same deer just bedding down in a slightly different spot, or it's a buck and a doe bedded up together here. There's plenty of space to hide. This type of bedding area is much better for deer to live in. All this tall grass serves as a huge windbreak. So when you get all these nasty winter winds that are kicking up, deer will often seek these areas to find shelter from the wind, which this does provide a very easy hiding space in here. So I have a very adequate area to where deer are hiding, and there's some really thick areas in here, there's some really thin areas in here, and deer take advantage of both. I can see there's another bed right here. It's a little bit smaller, but there is a smaller bed right here. And I've also got deer trails that will go through here. I've often seen bucks fighting out here. I've also seen many a doe bedded down in this field and bred in this field because of all this tall grass. And a great example of areas where the grass is cut, like for the winter, so that strip over there is cut down to the ground like what a lot of people do with their hay fields at the end of the year. Deer pass through there, but I have never seen bucks fighting out there. I have never seen a doe bred in that area. It's all been in this tall grass. Last year, Dad killed an 8-pointer out of this field. He was sitting over here at the shooting table, and the buck was actually bedded down over there with a doe, and he did breed her, and the buck got up, started snaking through the food plot, and got right up here to the wood line, and Dad popped him. So it's actually a really great tool to use here by allowing your field to serve as bedding area. And so, later on you can come back in here and mow this down if you still need hay in here, and all this dead material will feed your hay field. Or you can burn this off. If you're doing habitat improvements, this is the type of area you would want to burn, recycle the nutrients, and get the green started as soon as possible. But a lot of misconception goes on about what is considered good bedding for deer. So if your deer's used to poor habitat, you're most likely going to find the bed somewhere in the woods. And it's only because that's where they feel the safest at, versus being out here and it's like a needle in a haystack. So if there was a deer in here, it'd be like jumping up a rabbit. And that's happened to me before. I have literally got within 10 feet of a deer out here, and I could see it, and the deer continued to lay there, and I slowly backed out, and the deer never knew I was there. But I found them 10 feet away from me, And if you were anywhere out here in this field, you never would have known those deer were in here. So that's why I have excellent bedding here. This really draws deer in, and it helps to add to my odds that I can take a deer off my property. So if you have areas that you can convert to bedding, and if they happen to be woods habitat, you might want to consider cleaning those out. The ultimate bedding area, this is just my opinion on this, is if you have something like this and you mix oak trees in here that are about 80 feet apart all through here, or even wider than that if you need to, or even have some bare spaces, but as long as you got the tall grass and mix it with oaks or even chestnut trees, this is the ultimate bedding area. It is the misconception that woods provide the shelter needed. The woods up here provide a somewhat of a windbreak. Not a big windbreak, but somewhat. Out here in the field, this is a much better windbreak. And if you want to test that theory, simple solution. If you want to sit out here in thinner clothes, not hunting clothes, go up there in the woods, find what you consider a good bedding area, sit there for a while, see how fast you get cold. Then reset yourself, come out here in a field, find you some nice tall grass, bed down in that, and see how long it takes you to get cold. And you'll be shocked at the difference between bedding here and what is considered maybe bedding up here. So always try to keep your deer pampered. That's the way I treat this. And this actually makes my deer use the food plot a lot more, because they can bed over here close to it and then simply walk right in and eat. So the more they are eating out of here, the bigger the deer get. Then they simply walk out here, hide, chew whatever cud comes back up, and then if they're hungry again, they can do it all again. It's a simple cycle of trying to keep deer on good nutrition plans and to help keep my deer alive. Well, here's another good bed right here. That's actually a pretty good sized bed. But this also deters predators. Before I end the video here, this is a great predator deterrent, especially if you've got younger deer. It's going to be a lot harder for coyotes to cover this area and find a deer in here or some type of meal. So that's another way to keep your deer alive longer, especially when it comes for fawning season. You can keep your fawns alive by providing great bedding year round. Here's another bed right here. There's another bed right here. So there's plenty of activity. Right here's a good trail going in and out right here. This trail's heading toward the food plot. So you can see I'm just trying to give my deer all the comforts possible here to help them grow bigger, stay stress-free. So next time, if you get the opportunity to review your property, look for places that you can create some fantastic bedding. And just because you create that alone can help with the size of some of your deer, because you're greatly reducing stress. All right, guys, I hope you find this video informative. And I've got more to come on these type of bedding situations. But don't be fooled. Just because you got woods doesn't mean you're giving them the ultimate bedding. You all have a great day.